Today I will be responding to the claim that says placebo treatment is effective in healing medical conditions. My opponent's secondary claim is that placebo treatments help the mind to think positively about the health condition and results in actual healing. In response, my claim is that the placebo treatment is not effective in healing medical conditions. The advocate gives an example saying that Dr. J. Bruce Mosley at Houston Veterans Affairs Medical Center tested the placebo effect on 180 knee arthritis patients. One group did the arthritis surgery while the other group went through a pretend surgery. Dr. Mosley goes on to say that the people who had the placebo did better than those who actually did the real surgery. The problem with this is that sooner or later, the people who got the placebo instead of the real surgery will have to go back and visit their doctors because they will realize that the placebo doesn't work for a very long time. But instead that they will realize that they felt the same before they went in. So they will go back to the doctors to have the doctor tell them that they did not actually receive this surgery. Once they realize that they have been lied to, patients tend to not take this information kindly, that it leads to it leads to a dishonesty between doctors and patients, according to an author, David Newman. To go along with Newman, David Spiegel, a professor at Stanford, says that legitimate doctors and pharmacists could open themselves up to charges of fraud, since sugar pills would cost pennies or cents for a bottle, but the price for the real medication would have to be charged to avoid making the patient suspicious. Thinking the placebo will help people get through everything is not a realistic way of thinking. A fake surgery can never take the place of the real one. Prescribing placebos is considered bad medicine because their effect is unpredictable and unreliable and cannot form the sole basis of any treatment. This is true because the mind can only take someone so far. Yes, the mind is a powerful tool, but sooner or later, those who have received a placebo will come to realize that the medicine they're taking is not helping them get any better, so they have to go back and get the real medicine. Another problem that comes along with the placebo effect is what they call the nocebo effect. The nocebo effect is where it's the patients who do not believe that the placebo will work. So that's where that comes from. This causes a problem since patients do not know if they're in the group who gets a placebo or not. Since there are certain people who do not believe in the placebo effect, when they are done with their fake surgery or when they're done getting their fake pills, their condition will actually worsen. It will worsen because the people who do not believe in the placebo effect, they will start to question the medicine that has been prescribed to them. And in the end, people need to be more realistic about their lives and not rely on placebos to help them through serious and unserious medical problems. But people need to take care of themselves and get real treatment so they can live a better life than those who get the placebo. So tricking themselves to think a certain way will not help them in the long run because the truth will catch up to them at some point. People need to realize that getting a placebo is just a temporary fix.
All right, you label the main point, but not really the secondary issues. You've got a counterclaim here on the placebo effect, and I think that's an interesting strategy to go with, but that appears to be the only response that you're developing here, so there's not really a response to the advocate's particular claims on their original argument. You mentioned, you kind of do a recap of what the advocate's main evidence was. You remind us about what the study involved, and then you make a claim that says that ultimately it's not going to work in the long term. Patients are going to feel differently. They're going to feel the pain. But that's all asserted. I don't have any proof that the placebo effect ever wears off or that these problems become more significant over time. If you're talking about a degenerative sort of illness or problem that somebody has, I think you've got a good argument on this particular point. I don't know that that's what the advocate was talking about in their original claim, and I think that you've got a legitimate point. If there is in fact a degenerative illness that's being treated with the placebo, clearly there won't be a difference. But if it's people are complaining about some ambiguous sort of ache or pain or back injury or migraines or headaches or whatever the vague issue happens to be, lethargy, depression, why would a placebo ever be problematic? Because those things are not necessarily going to get worse, especially if people are believing that they're being treated for it. You've got an interesting idea here, but there's not any evidence that supports that particular position. Now, you do have a good counterclaim here that talks about what the potential issues might be from a legal point of view and from a trust point of view if doctors tried to use placebos as a way of actually treating their patients. And I think that that's a good argument to develop. It's, like I said, independent of the issues the advocate talked about, but it does address the main proposition to some degree. It would be a bigger relevance if this was a policy claim. I don't remember that they're actually talking about doing this as a policy. They're just talking about whether or not it has an effect. Same thing with the fake surgery. Let's face it, you are right, fake surgery is not going to fix some problems, but you ought to give us those illustrations of some of those problems. Fake cancer surgery is not going to remove the tumor. Fake surgery on a degenerative back issue may not solve that particular problem. And let's face it, you got a broken arm, a pill is not going to fix that. But there may, in fact, be a context in which this argument is supposed to exist, and I'm not sure if you are sticking to the context that they're talking about. You present the nocebo effect, and I thought that was, again, an interesting counterclaim. I didn't think it was nearly as well explained as it needed to be, and there's not much evidence to support that particular point, and so I think that's a little problematic. And I kept wondering about the Tebow effect, and I didn't hear anything about that. All right. Yes, I left that joke on the video.